Hi, welcome to the last edition of Dynamite. We're at volume episode 3. So today we're gonna be playing what I would think would be closer to the most fully automated list. Sorry. So the deck is consisting of pretty much a majority, a lot of rares. So it's pretty well fine-tuned. And we're gonna see if this deck has what it takes to compete. It's not like my other traditional stock dinosaur list that I feature on my actual channel. So if you want to go check it out, my KBG channel is in the description, and go check out that. I do play dinosaurs frequently, but not over an amount. That's why you kind of see my logo right here, Dino. But yeah, so we're gonna be featuring this deck. We're gonna try out a decent amount of rares, while kind of keeping most of the rares you're given in this deck. Carnosaur, Hulking Raptor, and Hammer Skull. I don't want to just make you basically lose out on those rare wild cards, so we're just gonna amp it up from that point on. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification so for future videos. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. Let's get there together, and let's get into this deck list. So the deck list, we're going to pick up 4 Commune with Dinosaurs. Pretty solid card overall. Helps find our Trumpeting Carnosaur and also our Reggie. So Hulking Raptor lets us get to our Carnosaur. And then we don't really care about ramping into the alpha from the Hulking Raptor perspective. The 2 extra mana is just kind of voided in the fact that it's only 1 additional mana. But we still have Hammer Skull, one of the best dinosaurs in the game, I think, personally. 6/6 for 3 is really strong. We still got our 6 elves, so we're not really playing the Marauding Raptor. I wanted to go a different route than the Rage dinosaurs. Instead, we're playing the Yearling. I haven't really played this card all that much in Pioneer, so we're going to see if this card has what it takes to make this version competitive. For removal, we do have 4 Burst Lightning and 1 Chomp. Since the sorcery speed, you don't really want too many of them, but mana efficiency, these cards are all really reasonable. Especially in an aggressive deck like this, you want your removal to cost 1 mana. Sideboard, mana base wise, we pretty much have everything covered. Cavern Souls make our creatures uncounterable. And we have our lair for a little bit of man land in the mana base, Verges, Grounds. So I want to make sure I also hit a lot of the lands that are already in the standard, because if you do plan on wanting to play standard, it's kind of nice to have Verges and Gorges in your package, right? So you can play standard and potentially do well there too. Sideboard, though, we do have a couple. Pick your poisons. This is also legal in standard. It's really solid overall. Sacrifice 1 mana, make your opponent sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Even a creature with flying, so a Troxa or a Valgavoth is really strong. We have 1 mana Pithing Needle, really good against Planeswalkers like Teferi. We have a couple Red Cap melees for the aggro matchup, so the mono red, traditionally, it's pretty nice to just deal 4 damage for 1 mana. 2 volleys for spirits. Ledger Shredder, which doesn't really see that much play anymore. And also angels and stuff like that. Damping Spheres for Lotus Field. Pretty solid there, especially since that's coming to Arena and Pioneer Masters. Unlicensed Hearse for a little bit of graveyard hate. A couple Clothes for a little bit more graveyard hate. Plus, it's a very good card against control. It's very hard for them to answer if you got it on the board. So basically, they need Farewell to be able to answer it, because they can't really destroy it because it's indestructible. We have a couple Ceratops. It's a hasty threat. Can't be countered. And yeah, it could have haste, it could have trample, it could have any keyword, reach, and pro blue. So against spirits and stuff like that, it's really good there. That is our dinosaur list that we're trying out today on the ladder. Let's get into it. Elf. Yep. So now we get to play this on dinosaur. Sure, it's probably a Fatal Push inbound. No, a Thoughtseize. What do you take here? Commune? You take Yearling. I don't think you take the Gisaf. The baby Gisaf. That's probably not your choice. I would be happy and thrilled if you did. Yeah, he does take it. Wow. Alright, so we put that on Dinosaur. Drop down our namesake Dino. Go digging. For another Yearling, I guess. Now, Thoughtseize doesn't really tell us much about the deck. It could be mid-range, it could be control. Most of the time, you don't really want to be playing discard like this in control decks, just because they don't really go well together. But we will continue to execute our game plan here. That is an insane draw. So now he kind of has to kill the Yearling. Otherwise, he takes 7 here. Oh, Tainted Indulgence. That probably tells me it's Fang. It's the only deck I could think of that actively would want a card that discards spells. So we're definitely going to take action. Hit you for 7. Say go. So next turn we have another yearling. This Sage we'll probably keep in hand. We don't really need to another. Okay, he just scoops it up. GG's. So against a black-blue deck, probably just close this, to be honest. Go down the Gisaf, since there's not really much of a target here. Chomp is also kind of weak. Probably a Pithing Needle. If I had to guess, he's probably playing some sort of Planeswalker. I'd rather have a Planeswalker than a Chomp. Even against something like Fang, because Sorcery Speed removal is just bad. We want it like that. So we hit him all one time. No Thoughtseize. Play an Elf, say go. No Fatal Push either. But what did you keep in your hand? I could name God and play to get this Clothis down. That's probably the most reasonable line. Because normally you want to name Dinosaur, but Clothis is so good that it's arguably correct. Yeah, I think it's correct. It's so good of a card. It's hard for him to interact with. Prankstar. Sure. But he got a land. Kind of. I'm not getting scammed, right? This is not a scam deck. Shocks himself. So we'll eat up a land, I guess. So we add another mana to our mana pool. Play our hammer. Probably eats a counter. But I'm not going to not play it. Play a tap land. Commune. Take a yearling, say go. So we put a bunch of lands at the bottom, which is kind of nice there. Take 3 steps ahead. Deal some damage. Play a yearling. Now we do need to be wary of a Shark Typhoon. But we'll go ahead and smack anyway. Say go. Prankstar. Mill some cards. Oh, this is Oculus. Okay. Is Extinction Event really good here? I don't even think I need to cast this Carnosaur. Cry. Okay. That's reasonable. And a tap land. That's not a bad top deck. I think I eat the Oculus in case he has a reanimation spell. We'll play down our Reggie. Get Frisky for 3, say go. Now, neither one of these have the same mana value type. So that can only get one, but not the other. So he's going to get rid of the Reggie. Gets rid of the token. Okay. I see you. Hit you. And then Burst Lightning for the win. Got it. 1-0. Let's get into the next. It's Tarzan. Oh. Play an elf. Go. So Tarzan is a common dinosaur player. And he does know it's me because it's my original name. Sometimes I was playing with the other channel's name. Okay. I think I want Beseju in this matchup. Tap land. Smack. Go. Alright, so we need to answer that at some point. Drop down a Hulking Raptor. Probably means Charm's coming. Yep. He's going to get, most likely, the Citadel. Question is, does he have an untapped land here? Commune. Okay, so that means this Beseju has to do work. I can't let him have a castle for another turn. Cavern. Alright, so first things first. Pop there. Another charm. That's pretty nasty. So now he gets to surveil. He likes what he's drawing. White Raptor, catch ya, yo. Now the question is, can this Reggie do anything? I might just be dead here, because this Gulta, giving a hasty dinosaur, yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of damage. So my best bet here is to block here. And just pray. Yeah, dead. So against the mirror, probably damping spheres. No, not really enchantment based. Pithing needle. I'm assuming, does this count as a mana? I don't think so. So I should be able to stop Cavern, I think. Chomp is bad. Gistaff is bad. Run it like that. Play an elf. Go. Now this hand is a little weird. We do need to get this yearling down and attack for 1 this turn. And pray we can get, okay, the lands to get to our alpha within reason. Because the faster we get to these two, the faster we can win this game. Before he could assemble his combo. Scrying. And there's the castle. His deck is quite consistent at getting his lands that he wants. Alright, hit ya. Go. Another scrying. Probably for a Sunken Citadel. I'm going to play the Sunken Citadel. Play a Reggie. So hit you for 7, say go. Now we get to play Carnosaur this turn. Now the question is, are we dead before that happens? I don't think so. You can get he can get something like a Carnage Tyrant down, but so we did not draw a land this turn, which is kind of sad. So at this point, I need to shove with these. And burst the face. Alright, got there. I could have also played the hammer. Run it back. So on the play, this is an ideal hand. We have so many elves. We just, hopefully we can vomit them all. And be able to ramp into something early. That is not something we're ramping into. Elf. Now the question here is, do I want to play Cavern on Elf? Probably. I don't really care. Can't really counter anything anyways. So now we get to play this Commune. Find something, cast it. Hopefully it's big enough. So we play the Commune. So our biggest option here was Hammer. Play a Hammer. Play a tap land. Get Frisky for 2. It's probably an Archmage's Charm here. He's probably getting a Sunken Citadel. Go. So at this point in the game, he should be able to cast a 7-drop. He does. What else do you have in hand? He has a way to give it haste and a draw enabler. He sacks one of them, makes another 3/3, and he shoves in there for a decent chunk. So that's Xaxes right there. So I have to block here. Stay alive. But we're pretty much dead. He just gets to draw a bunch of cards, and we're drawing lands. So at this point, we need to get rid of the Hatcher, but that's probably too late. Alright. 1 and 1. Let's get into the next. Play lands they go. Now what sucks about this is we don't really have a green source. And we probably lost. I had him already like 2-3 times already. This was not looking too great for us. Alright, that doesn't work. Go. So this is probably Phoenix. There goes the trigger. Take our beats. Play a yearling as they go. Could have been just an argument of scooping here, not revealing that we're dinosaurs. But me playing this immediately triggers it off. He knows what he's facing. That is a very good strategic move. If you feel like you're so far behind that you can't win, it's better not to reveal too much critical information going into game 2. And a sleight of hand. If I get back a Phoenix, get super frisky, draw a land. I get to drop that down. Hit you for 6. Go. I don't know if we have a shot here or not. No more Phoenixes yet. There is a legit chance. So I could chomp away a Shredder for 6 points of damage, which is a decent chunk. He kills my Yearling. So that's a good sign. What's your last 2 mana? What are you going to use that mana on? Because you don't really have a Phoenix that you can get back. Yeah. So, best ideal scenario for me, I do draw a dinosaur. But that's not lethal, right? That's too short. But I am dead. And I don't think there's a world where I could come back from this. Even though I can deal like 6 to a Shredder and then smack you for a decent chunk, which is better than what I thought we were going to do this game. So we have Ceratops, pretty fine card. Clothis, Hearse, Volley, all pretty reasonable cards. We have Chomp to cut, probably Burst Lightning, Gisef, and then we could probably trim something else. Probably an Elf. I could bring this in. We did see the enchantment section of his deck, right? He is playing some number of profs and some number of artist talent. So we could play like a Pick Your Poison, 2 Pick Your Poisons, because he does have flyers, he does have enchantments. Run it like that. We shall see how good this hand is. I mean, this time we didn't have the mole. So the downside of this hand is we could just have too many lands. We only have 19 left in the deck, so we have an okay-ish chance of not drawing it. Just kill my elf. We'll go ahead and drop down our Hearse and say go. So this is like a really good card against them because they really depend on the graveyard. So on his end step, we go ahead and eat up the Fire Impulse. Now, I need this on green or the Ceratops and just say go. Now this is the time where he should be jamming the Fairy. Just to mill 4. So you could overload the Hearse and make it a little less effective. But he decides not to. I also decided not to use it, which I should have. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Pugs and say go. He get Braids. We'll go ahead and eat up his cards. And say go. So he is less likely to be able to fire off a Treasure Cruise. So the best things you could do to increase your win rate, of course, is to learn the meta. Knowing that this is a very prominent deck, you should know most of the play patterns and lines of this deck, what they're working for, their objectives and stuff like that. Which is why I said, traditionally, like this matchup here, your goal is to keep your yard clean, so that way when they can't really draw 3 from a Treasure Cruise. I'm short. And I can't technically pay the green for this. But we do get to play it and prevent this from getting the stun counters. So we'll smack face, they go. So he's essentially at 1 next turn if he doesn't do anything. Yeah, these angers aren't doing much. But yeah, draw an untapped land here. We can Carnosaur. Looks like he's doing a Treasure Cruise because he's highlighting the graveyard. Short a Ancestral Recall. Drawing 3, pretty strong. So he has a Shredder. It just passes. We'll play the Elf. I could cycle away a Carnosaur, but there's not really a huge advantage to that. scoops it up. We go to game 3. A sleight of hand. So we're going to play for our most optimal lines here, which is that Elfish Mystic, and try to get to a Pugs. Another Pugs. That's kind of insane. So we'll play the Pugs. They go. He goes ahead and does his most optimal line, trying to find an Arclight Phoenix, also filling his yard up for another Treasure Cruise, or his first Treasure Cruise. Sleight of hand, okay. So he's up to 5 cards in the yard. We have yet to draw a land type land. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play another Pugs. And shove for 6. Let's go ahead and commune. I don't want to land unless it is exactly... Ooh, 2 Arclight Phoenixes. Yeah, I could definitely see an alpha here. So you can't counter it. He basically has to aggressively win this turn. Now, the downside of this, right, is he can't really get the Arclight Phoenix back and be on the aggressive line. Just because he knows this alpha is on the horizon. And basically, unless he kills my Mystic, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, there's no world where he just get Arclight back and be aggressive. But since he did kill that thing, he thinks he could pushed off the alpha for another turn. So we'll go ahead and drop down to Ceratops. Hedja. That's 2. So now he's more or less on the defense, unless he can find some way of maximizing this. This now could block the Hall on repeat. It's pretty nice. Best case scenario for us is we draw an untapped land that also happens to produce probably green of some sort. Lightning Axe. That's fine. He has no more Phoenixes in the yard. And plays a Prankster for a jump blocker. He can attack with 1 Phoenix. Which is correct here. So we go ahead and just drop down a Yearling. And make you sack your Phoenix. Because you have to. I definitely could have just... I probably should have discarded that. To get rid of the Picklock Prankster, and he would have basically would have died. Yeah, I definitely should not have given another turn. So we probably should honestly be 1-0 right now. Or 2-1. Which is not a bad record for dinosaurs. Beating the best deck in the format. Arguably one of the best. So now he's in this weird spot where he can get back these Phoenixes. But, like, again, he can't really get aggressive. So it looks like here comes a Treasure Cruise, if I had to guess. He's highlighting his graveyard. So unless he magically top decks a land and a Croft, then even then he can't really do a lot here. Let's see if he actually falls for the trap. He does fall for the trap. Yeah, so I should have won last turn. But I didn't. So now you are basically dead. Okay, 2-1, beating the best deck in the format. Let's get into it. Let's get into the wrap up. So what do we learn this week about this deck overall? The biggest takeaway I have is the unreliable way that we have to enable the Verges. So the Verges actually felt quite horrible in this deck. I wonder if I should trim that back to 3, and then maybe increase something other kind of land, maybe another forest or a mountain. But the Verges felt quite bad, right? Because it was very difficult to enable it. We do have essentially 7 cards that do turn it on, but it just didn't feel like it was consistent enough. So that is probably the biggest takeaway of the actual deck, the weakness that I've seen so far. The creature package was pretty solid. We did face control, so I guess we did get a little bit of experience there. I had to mix up and face a diverse amount of decks, but I do think we have a good shot here because we beat one of the best decks, and I think we did a pretty reasonable job as well against control, especially with closest in our sideboard. It does quite well there. You also could put some planeswalkers in there if you're expecting a lot of control, but overall I think this deck is actually pretty solid overall. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it, and how you so far are you liking this series. Are you liking the current patterns that I'm doing with 3 videos, 1 in the middle, which is just all uncommons and commons upgraded, and then go into the adding rares, because I do think I like that kind of approach. Just because you have a wide range of how you could build your deck. If you don't really want to invest any rares into this deck, you know, you always watch the last episode and just pick that deck up and play from there. And just play nothing but uncommons, and then the few rares that you just might just get, right? So, but until next time, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Next week, actually, I think I changed it up a little bit. I originally was going to do the Clue deck, Inspector deck, but instead, I think I'm going to do Black-White Life Gain. That deck, Vampiric, whatever that is, Hunger, I think, something like that. I'm going to do that one instead because someone did ask me in a comment section in a previous video about that deck. So we're going to try to take that deck and upgrade it. Also probably going to be featured, probably already, a deck that you basically, we're going to do uncommons and commons with life gain. So green-white most likely because it's the best color combo, I think. So check that video out as well because it's probably already been featured. And like I said, until next time, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll talk to you guys next time.